Hello! I am so excited. As usual, you are on the Superwoman Can podcast, and I am excited because we have an incredible speaker. Yes, an absolute firecracker has arrived onto the Superwoman Can podcast to shake some things up today. And I'm delighted beyond measure to welcome. And before I do, I want to talk about her name is Phebe Fuqua. Yes, I love the name. And before we introduce her, I want to just remind you that the Superwoman Can podcast has been created to elevate successful women of color to the highest heights, smashing past any glass ceiling, concrete ceiling, or whatever narrative we have been told, because we know that we can, and we are superwomen that can. So here we are today, showcasing all our best stories to get you to elevate. So I'm delighted, without further ado, to introduce Phebe Fuqua. I just did that to say it twice. Tell us about yourself. Hello, welcome.
Hello, Superwomen. I am excited on today to be a part. Thank you so much for having me. I am a woman that wears multiple hats, as a lot of us women are. I am a mentor, a survivor, an overcomer, a CEO. I love to motivate people, to inspire to change and impact, to make a difference. I am the CEO of Elite Eagle Developments, also am a mother of 3 babies, and I love to make sure that we're going to impact lives with all of our experiences that we have had in our lives. So I'm excited on today.
Amazing. And I'm sure that you are going to impact. So I want to just tell people to just get themselves ready. Strap your seatbelts, get ready for this one. I believe you're about to take off. So tell me, Phebe, and one of the words that you just mentioned there, and I think we need to go into it first. You said that you are a survivor. Mm-hmm. Tell us more. Survivor is quite a broad word, but it means that you've gone through some stuff. Tell us more about that.
Well, I would start with the adult life, but I want to start from the beginning. And I'll just give you a little snippet. I am a twin, and my mother was pregnant with 2 babies. So we were, she was so excited. My father and my mother were excited because twins run in my family. My dad is a twin. His mother had 4 sets of twins. My mom had 1 set of twins. So it was just like, oh, we're having twins. Well, unfortunately, at the 5th month, my twin died. So my mother had to make a choice to either push out the live baby and risk her life, or save her life and kill me. But a woman of faith, she said, no, nothing is wrong. We're just going to take a leap of faith, because that's what our family's foundation is, faith in God. And here I am, and my mother is still living. And so that's how, that beginning stage of fighting and overcoming. Fast forward, a lot of things happen in my life, having challenges with endometriosis and reproductive challenges. And the doctor telling me at the age of 18, you can never have a child, never. So get it out your mind. I was like, oh, you're raised with, you grow up and start a new generation. So with my ex-husband, we were just putting our minds, okay, no babies, we're just going to adopt. But a miracle happened. All of a sudden, I missed my cycle. I'm like, let's just go and just buy the cheapest pregnancy test and see what happens. And then boom, I was pregnant. And it lasted. The doctor said, don't get attached, because you have so much going on in your body, the baby's going to die. But I stood on the faith that my mother had, and as well as that I have. And now, moving fast forward, I have 3 babies, 15 months apart each. And it seemed like when he opened up my womb, he opened up my womb. So moving past that, overcoming those challenges, then I got hit with multiple sclerosis. Like, what? I'm giving a speech to my staff, motivating them. I'm really hyped and excited. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's get hyped. And they're looking at me like, what are you saying? I'm slurring. Then all of a sudden I collapsed. Couldn't feel the left side of my body. They ran all type of tests to only find out, ma'am, you have multiple sclerosis. I'm like, what? the worst kind, because it doesn't only affect, multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease that affects your nervous system and muscles. So pretty much in layman's term, everything is extremely lazy. Your organs are lazy. I was diagnosed with the worst type, which is reoccurring remitting multiple sclerosis. So it affects not only my fine motor skills, but my organs. So everything was lazy. I was like, man, this is not good. That happened in 2014. Then 2015, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was like, wait, what? And I said, why? And that multiple sclerosis hit me because I started to, not be able to walk and talk properly, but cancer? And they were like, yes. I said, why? And I was angry. I said, why hit me with something that can take my life? I have 3 babies, and I had a talk with God. I'm like, you gave me something that I wasn't supposed to have to only take me from them. I was angry, but we're super women and we overcome anything. And I said, you know what? I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, Phoebe, starve your distractions and feed your focus. You can't allow what comes your way to hinder you. So I said, okay. So I looked in the mirror and said, you are the healed. You're going to walk through this. You're going to overcome it. So I shifted. A lot of times we talk about it, but we don't act on it. So I shifted my diet. I shifted my mindset. I shifted who was around me. Because, people can be in your ear and say, oh, what are you going to do? What about your children? They're going to be fine. I spoke it into existence. I said, listen, I will live. I will be able to overcome whatever comes my way. It's just a name. I know the name above all names, so I'm going to live and connect to that. So that's what I did. I shifted my mindset. I shifted how I was doing. Mind you, went from a cane to a walker to a wheelchair. Wasn't functioning. I couldn't feel the left side of my body. I went through surgeries. I had bilateral mastectomy to remove the breast entirely. Then I went from having implants put in to having them taken out because it caused an infection from the collarbone down to the ribs. So cancer was removed, cancer was put back. It was a lot of moving parts. And in the midst of that, I was going through a divorce. I was like, wow, attack after attack. But when you stay focused on your purpose and stop window shopping your calling and make it in purchasing the excuses, you have to stay focused. And that's what I did. I still was running the businesses that I have. I was still out speaking. I was taking treatments and jumping into meetings and still pushing through. I was like, it's temporary. It's a temporary inconvenience for a permanent change for the better. Stay focused, Phoebe, stay focused. And in the midst of, I'm watching mentors that were mentoring me die from cancer. People in my life die that I'm pushing through and helping. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was a distraction because you're thinking, am I next? And I said, Lord, I remember Miles Monroe. He's a very well-known preacher and speaker. He said he wanted to rob the grave. I said, well, I'm attached to that. I'm going to latch on to that because when the richest place on earth is the graveyard, because it's so filled with opportunities and filled with dreams. I said, if I can just rob the grave and die empty, I'll be just fine. Of course, every day I was like, oh, fill me up more. Fill me up more. I want to live longer. But when we have the mindset that we can push through regardless of whatever comes our way, and we can starve our distractions and feed our focus, which is our purpose in life, we can do anything. I'm here today with, and mind you, I have 5 tumors on my brain, 3 on my cervical spine. I had a lot of moving parts. I had death diagnosis. Be prepared for death. I had a nurse call me. Hi, how are you doing? I'm calling from your insurance company. I'm the terminal ill nurse, just checking to see how you're doing. Did you prepare for everything? I'm like, okay, well, how am I doing? I'm okay, I guess. Are you sure? Are you sad? Are you feeling fine? When somebody keeps asking you, are you sad when you're supposed to be, you're feeling fine, all of a sudden you're like, I guess I'm kind of like, whoa. But I had to focus. I had to stop feeding into what reality was. And last year, I did a final scan. This was back in October. I felt really sick. I was traveling internationally, doing some assignments and speaking and doing different things. Came back to the States. I live in Florida, and came back and I was feeling overwhelmed. I was stressed. They scanned my entire body for 2 days. Now, mind you, I'm used to them pumping me up with chemotherapy, immunotherapy. They were like, we don't see anything wrong with you. Nothing is there. I don't know what you did. We can't find anything on your brain. We can't find anything in your bloodstreams. We're going to give you melatonin. I was like, melatonin? That's the baby. He was like, that's the only thing you need. You need rest. I said, wow. Okay. And so then fast forward, I mind you, I had a port. I have a scar right here. I had a port where I was getting treatments. A month ago, they removed it. They say you don't need it anymore. When you shift your mindset, you can become a superwoman. You can do the supernatural because it's all in here. It's all a mindset. Yes, I was taking a lot of medicines, and then I went from lots of pills and injections and infusions to I take supplements. That's it. It's here. When you latch on to your purpose in life, you can do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask or think when you attach to it. So I just want to encourage you, starve your distractions and feed your focus. And in everything you do, despite the distractions, do like I did. In the midst of therapy and in the midst of treatments, I was encouraging people. I was inspiring to change and impact, to make a difference in people's lives, no matter what my circumstance was, because my goal is to die empty. That's the main thing. I tell people, because I'm from the South, and in the South is, everything is like, the country lifestyle. I tell people I've been to the rodeo, I rolled the bulls and branded the cows when it comes to just everything in my life, but I'm an overcomer. I'm an overcomer with health challenges. In undergrad, I was raped, but I still overcame the hurt, the embarrassment, the pain. It's all about how you do it. Yes, I'm divorced from my husband. We have 3 children together, but it's what you do. The art of forgiveness is what you do to bridge that gap. We're very cordial to this day, because why? When you attach to the purity of the friendship where it started, for the peace of the children, God can do anything to your heart if you shift your mindset. I've been ripped from different parts of my body because of surgeries and health challenges, but I look at it like, okay, these are battle scars. Things are missing. Okay, well, it used to be that it served its purpose. Now let's move on to the next phase in life, and what other purpose now can it serve? So it's all about your mindset. Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. What are you doing with the 90%? 10% is okay. It happens, it's happening, but 90%, how are you going to shift it?
Wow.
So, yeah.
Can we bottle you up? Like, I think we need to find some sort of way of bottling what you have. Now, I was literally, my mouth is like gobsmacked because you have gone through stuff. I didn't know if I should cry or victoriously laugh and shout for joy. That was a roller coaster. You are indeed a superwoman. Now, those who are listening, you have been through stuff. And I know that, I just want to say, you said you're down south. For us in the UK, anyone who's UK based, I'm UK based. Down south means London. I'm in the north, which is in Manchester. So down south, you are from Florida, correct? You got a bit more sunshine, bit more sunshine than we will ever have. Now, just to clarify that for those who have listened to seen, you may think where you're from. I just need to kind of like understand, where is this basis of faith coming from? Because you clearly have faith. Where is that coming from?
It's coming from God. God he's truly the center of my joy. He provides me a peace that surpasses my own understanding. I don't understand how I'm calm and sane. Don't get me wrong. I have moments where I cry, scream, release, all of that. But I'm grounded because I know my purpose. I'm grounded because I know and I've seen what he can do and what he's done for me in my life. He's truly my source. I don't say it as a cliche. I don't say I have faith just like, oh, I have faith. And people don't really latch on. Faith is an action word. And I literally latch onto it every day. Every day. That's where it comes from. It comes from God.
Amen. And as a woman of faith myself, I just want to just come. I want to just, because there was such a story, I want to just catch some of the things that we have that are similar and so many worlds apart. So one of them is I am a twin. I'm a twin too. I have a twin brother, and he literally follows me everywhere, and with whatever I do, I can't shake him. Twins, they seem to have that bond. And I even though yours is not with you, I bet I don't know why I'm saying she. I don't know if she was a she or not, but I just they're still with you. And I also gave birth to twins as well. So I have a girl boy twin. So when they say they're in your family, I can understand because they're completely in mine as well. And then I have gone through some stuff, nowhere near as much as you. I've gone through heartache and pains, and I also struggled. They told me, unexplained fertility. It took us 10 years, and I can attest and confirm with what you've said. And those who are listening, when you stand on your faith, and if you stand on your purpose, I knew that I was going to be a joyful mother of many children. So you've got 3 children. I raised you by 3, and I've got 6 children. I had 5 in 5 years. I have 5 in 5 years. Now, I just want to so I've got 6. I had 6 in 7 years. My youngest is 13 weeks. Tiny bit. But what I want to say is we've got similarities, but some of the things you've been through are just so many worlds apart. And some of them are just horrific. So I don't want to skirt over those things, because we may have listeners who are going through some of those things that you are experiencing. And one thing that you mentioned, I'm going to go backwards just because that was the last thing you said, really, is that when you were younger, you actually were abused, you were raped. And that is severe. And you tell me if you don't want to talk too much about that, but can you, just for those who may be listening, how did you heal from that?
Yeah, so I had a couple instances that happened. I was younger. I was about 5 or 6 when I was molested. I was at a play at school, playground. And it was a fence that was right next, and I wasn't the only one. And it was an older guy that would just keep trying to, with his finger touch us, and was like, if you tell, I'm gonna kill your brother. I'm like, oh my gosh. So you're instantly lockjawed. Then fast forward, I'm an undergrad, my freshman year in undergrad, at the university, and the room shifted, and it happened. One of the football players from another close by university, come to find out that's what he was one of the football players. I didn't know. I wasn't intoxicated. A lot of people who had encounters where you had a gathering or a party, they're intoxicated. I wasn't. I didn't drink. I didn't do any of that. I just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he raped me. He hit me. I tried to run away, and it was devastating. Finally, when I was able to leave, the first thing I was finally able to call on my friends, can you please come get me? Took me to the emergency room, and they did a rape kit, and because they actually questions, oh, are you sure? And this is that. And it was the most horrible. They're like, are you sure? Of course I'm sure. Look at my face. Look at my body. I'm bruised. Yes, this is what happened to me. And only to detect the hormones, and you say, oh yeah, you were. And it makes you so angry. And doing police reports. And then at that particular time, they're wanting to cover up because he's a star player. I was like, really? This is what we're doing? It did a lot to my self-esteem. It made me not want to trust. And he really damaged my insides worse than what they already had challenges. Keep in mind, already had challenges, and then damaged that. So it was hard for me for the longest when I did become married and have an intimate relationship. certain things he could not do because it was triggers. I was like, whoa, a little bit harsher intimacy. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I would just break down crying. So I really had to go through a lot of healing, and grateful that he was understanding, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, and it was hard because it weighs on the relationship when it's absolutely nothing going on. It's a true thing, but certain things would trigger. And I was like, wow, I have to overcome this. I sought therapy help. And so the therapist really helped me do that. But therapy help is one level. Then you have the God help. That's another level. But you also have your part to not nurse and rehearse it. And it's easier said than done. It's a lot of harsh things. And then having, going through different things in life where, oh, you're pretty, so let me do this and that, or just talk to you as if you are an object. And it's harsh, and that's a hard thing. It's bittersweet, but at the same time, it's just one of those situations where you have to stand firm and know who you are and just understand that things happen. And how am I going to deal with it? Am I going to let this affect my entire life and never experience true intimacy, how it's supposed to be, or true love? Or I'm just going to fault every man that comes my way? It's not their fault. And that's one thing that I had to forgive that gentleman. I had to, within myself. So that's something, it was hard, but I know how it feels whenever somebody who's, familiar spirit, when somebody has dealt with the same thing, I can do my best to help them walk them through that process.
Wow.
Yeah.
So those who've listened and maybe that has triggered them, I don't want to leave it to the end. I want to say it now. So thank you so much for just being vulnerable and sharing that really intimate part of your journey. Anyone who's listened and has been triggered and they need to seek help, I'm going to put some links down for the UK one. I'll grab some from you for the US one, just so you can connect with anyone in your local vicinity to support you on your journey. One of the things that you said there is you took counseling and you went and sought help, as well as building, forgiveness and things like that. You didn't just do it alone. You went and sought the required help. So anyone that's listening who has or experienced this, please do seek help. You're not to do this alone. And I'm so grateful that you took that time to share that. And you have been through it. Like, that is, for you to then have that, and then you go on to then have challenges with fertility, and then go on to have more MS, then go on to have cancer, and you are still standing. Like, you are still smiling, and you are definitely a beautiful woman. Now, if you were just to pick out 5 things that you can kind of encourage a woman who's on their own unique journey, and to just stand for their purpose and whatever that is, to continue in the road of purpose for their own version of success, what would your 5 things be?
I would first say own it. It's okay. Whatever it is, own it. If you've been hurt, I've been hurt, but this is how I'm going to overcome it. Or I've been hurt, this is how I'm going to shift how things look. So own it. And second, surround yourself by people who will water your garden and nurture it. Except for, aside from yourself, find people around you who will, and then focus on the 90%. Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. So focus on the 90% of how you can build from it. And then also, I would encourage you to stop window shopping your purpose and stop purchasing the excuses. Because so many times we're like, oh, I know I'm supposed to be doing this, or I can't do it now. So you're purchasing the excuse of, I don't want to do it right now. Stop doing that and literally walk through your purpose. And then final thought will be starve your distractions and feed your focus. That's one of the main things. And never stop inspiring to change and impact to make a difference in people's lives, because that's how you rob the grave. That's how you die empty. when you really fulfill your God-given purpose.
And you definitely are doing that. You continue to impact others. And on that subject of impacting others, tell us what your business is. Tell us more about what you do in your business and how you elevate women of color and others and allies.
Absolutely. So I have a business consulting firm. It's called Elite Eagle Developments. And we pretty much specialize in scaling businesses and nonprofit organizations where there is developing a strategic plan, fundraising strategies, focusing on different trainings like employee training, customer service training, and leadership development. Also have an executive coaching arm where I make sure that we hold your hand throughout the entire process, because the goal is soaring to bring your vision to life. And growing up, my parents always told me I was an eagle. So I was like, okay, I'm just eagles soar high and eagles are strong and eagles overcome whatever. And so my entire team, we're eagles. And so we are soaring to bring everybody's vision to life. So that is pretty much what my business is.
And
Yes.
tell us a success story within your business. Tell us.
Oh, wow. So
I'm sure you've got loads of them.
So yes, the reason why the business was started was because with all my health challenges, I was working for corporate, and they just had to talk with me like, Phoebe, you're an awesome asset to our company, but you're always out because of health challenges. And I get it, but business, we just have to make it. I said, I understand. It's business. It's just business. So I always wanted to have my own. I launched and had my own company, and watching different things with my clients. The main issue was having somebody walk them through the process. I've scaled companies who are making $0 or only a few $1,000s a month, and now they're making close to 7 figures a month or 7 figures throughout the year. So I specialize in finding where those gaps are. I'm a gap filler, and I'm also a pusher, and I push and pull out that vision, like, no, we can do this and overcome it. So many companies, and also when it comes to funding strategies, various nonprofit organizations, even individuals who've come to me and say, hey, I need to raise X amount of dollars for a cause or X amount of dollars for a various event. I develop a strategy, and really great with networking and piecing puzzles together. So God has really placed that gift inside of me. So that's where my firm specializes in, just really pulling out that vision and soaring it to higher heights. Yes.
Wow, amazing. So I want to just say that you are, as I mentioned, an absolute firecracker. You are a superwoman. I can't, to be honest with you, I don't even think there is really a word to describe you, because you should be bottled up. Like, what you run on is not, it is not of this earth. It can't be. It has to be God. It is not of this earth. There's no way. There's just no way that you could go through as much. And I'm trying not to tear up, actually, because it has really made me emotional. But to go through as much as you have gone through and still champion others, you're still pushing for others, still motivating each other, others, and doing it whilst you've battled yourself. And I just see that as fuel, that has fueled you, and it will continue to fuel you. So I'm deeply, deeply grateful for the time that you've taken to join Superwomen Can podcast, and to really to pour into those listeners who are going to tap into this. They are going to be filled to the brim, and they're going to take those. Make sure you've taken a pen, listen back to this again. It's been short, it's been sweet, but guess what? You have an opportunity to go and follow Phebe. And I encourage you to go on the links down below and click on those links and follow everything that she has, because that's what I'm doing. I'm literally going to follow her on every single platform. I want to be continually full to the brim, and whatever she's running on, I need like about 2 doses of that a day. So you go ahead and do the same thing. Where can we find you?
So you can find me on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Also, you can go to the website, which is Elite Eagle Developments with an S.org. You can find me there. I'm also on YouTube, so you can find me there as well. So I look forward to seeing you all comment and like and share on those social media platforms.
Amazing. So I'm going to say thank you. Continue to get yourself filled up by going and following all those platforms. I'm doing that right now. And for those listeners, listen out for the next episode coming out just after this one. We have an amazing guest following up after this one. I don't know how we can do, follow on from this, but we'll try. But what I can say is a deep thank you once again for listening and taking the time. And can do me a favor, subscribe, like, and share. Please share with at least 10 of your friends minimum. If you can share with 100, even better. Everyone needs to listen to this episode. So thank you so much. Have an amazing super day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.